Right, we'll make a start. Afternoon, everyone, and welcome to another Meet and Connect session. Today we'll focus on the Princess Trust, and we've joined by Tim from the Princess Trust, who will be explaining on what the Princess Trust does and what opportunities there are for children and young people in Walsall. Just for people who've joined us, so lots of you might have joined us before and know how it works. Just if you are new, just a couple of reminders. So everybody's on mute and camera off, but facilitators will be turning on their camera. We will be recording today's session as we've done with any other session, because the aim is to publish this as a resource on our Safeguarding Partnership website. So anybody who wants to re-listen, or if you think any of your peers would benefit from hearing about any of those services, then you can go and re-watch or tell them about it, and they can watch it if they've missed today's session. Just also, you don't need to make notes in terms of the PowerPoint. What we do is after today's session, straight after, you will get an email with the information Tim have provided today, including the PowerPoint, to your email address, and it will also come with a little evaluation survey. So if you can fill that, if you can take a couple of minutes to click on the link for the evaluation and complete it, we would really appreciate that. I know you might have already completed it for others, but we would like to hear about every session and how useful it was, and what we may want to follow up following on from that, especially going into September time. So if you can do that, we would really appreciate that. Again, you can interact today with us, so if you've got any questions about the information Tim is providing today, then then you can interact with us through the chat function. So I will keep an eye on any questions coming in, and then I will pick that up at the end of today's PowerPoint presentation. So yeah, without further ado, welcome Tim, over to you.
Thanks, Isabel. So hello everybody, I'm Tim. I work for the Prince's Trust, and today I hope to give you an insight into the things that we do where I work. I work for the Prince's Trust as an operations exec on behalf of the West Midlands team in the Black Country. I've worked there now for 5 years within different areas of Prince's Trust, outreach being one, and then programme delivery. And I've kind of got enough experience of the majority of the programmes through recruiting for them and facilitating them too. In Walsall specific, I've now run about 3 different Walsall Manor Hospital programmes, and also we did a Walsall for All sessions at the new art gallery. So I've had a kind of many different afternoons walking about Walsall and meeting different organisations there. If I've met you before, then hi again. If not, then hopefully this will lead to the possibility that you can contact ourselves, and we can work with you in terms of referrals or anything, any ideas for signposting for young people. I'm specifically allocated to work in the Black Country, so Sandwell is one of my main areas, and also in Walsall, Wolverhampton as well, and Dudley. So next slide, please, Lorna. The aims of this info session is for me to give you information about what we do. You might already have an understanding a little bit about some of the things that you've heard that Prince's Trust do, but if there's anything, which is normally the case, sometimes people aren't aware of everything that they do. Like a menu, really, we have a whole range of different things that young people can benefit from. I'll also try and aim to encourage referrals, whether that's from yourselves or whether it sparks ideas for you in the future that you can maybe promote us word of mouth to other people that might say, they're working with someone that's looking for this, that, or and it might lead to the information being passed over that way, and also obviously enabling more young people to access what we do. I'll explain our inquiry process and then also answer any questions. A bit of background for me about myself is I worked in I worked as a musician for about 15 years, and it led to working in the community and working with a whole range of different young people, different abilities, and working in education, following on from that. And then slightly, sort of quite soon after working as an educational mentor, I saw an opportunity to work for the Prince Trust organisation. I live in Sandwell. I've got two young children who fortunately aren't going to be making any instructions because they're not here right now. So for this call, it's just a little opportunity for me to shed a light on what the Prince's Trust do, and hopefully, like I said, encourage more sort of participations of people that you might work with. So then at the end, then any questions, there's an opportunity for that. Okay, thanks, Lorna. We'll go on to the next one. I'm going to start though with something that is always a question that's relevant when we finish our sort of education, during education as well. We're always asked at that point, you know, what would you like to do one day? So for ourselves, if we sort of think back with this question, when you were younger, what did you want to do for a career? Just really for the benefit of this call, to sort of put ourselves back in the mindset of a lot of the young people that we see that are making their way, trying to find on their own path and trying to establish, you know, without knowing basically how they're going to get to what they'd like to do. For myself, I had an idea that I'd like to work in broadcasting when I was younger. I'm giving that example because I don't do that right now. My pathway led through lots of different experiences and have ultimately ended into sort of bringing together lots of experience to utilize the skills that I have. I know this now, but when I was younger, I didn't know that. So we all had an idea. Some of us, going back to our school years, post-education, our late teens, early 20s, late 20s, sort of started to think, you know, I'd like to do that, and I want to try and have a go at doing that. And that's what every day is in my mind about the young people that we work with at the Prince's Trust. I'm asking this really to just sort of try and think about when we speak with young people from our areas and our communities, to sort of think about how we can kind of encourage and inspire them to help them in making those steps. So next slide is about the unknown. It's easy sometimes as we get older to forget that we went through our own unknowns, and maybe we still go through them now, and we navigate unknowns every day as to what will happen. But we're probably doing that now with a little bit more experience and answers to the what ifs that we've had along the years. Again, reminded me that many conversations that I always have with a young person is, you know, how am I going to do that, and what will happen, but I don't know. And it's one of the most important things that we do at the Prince's Trust is we put ourselves in that mind frame, and we kind of go back really to thinking about what that was like for ourselves, which then leads on to, we worked for a long time, and our careers, that's great, thanks a lot. Our careers can include jobs that help develop us, and jobs maybe that we see as maybe a short-term thing, or a job that we really sort of want to have a good go at, and then it maybe doesn't sort of like lead to us pursuing that direction. When we speak with young people at the Prince's Trust, we kind of bring it back to, you know, what would make you feel like you were meeting your purpose, because fundamentally the work at the charity is to help people post-education and prior to them sort of starting out on that route, which could ultimately lead them into the direction that they want to go. So a lot of our work is about, you know, what would make you feel like, you know, you got out of bed with a spring in your step and you thought, I'm doing the thing that makes a difference. And we like to help young people to work towards identifying how they can fulfill that purpose and what steps they'd need to take to achieve that desired path. Which leads me on to the next slide, that everybody, including myself, everybody on the call and everybody everywhere, is on a journey. And young people at the start of their journey, it can be difficult to know what to expect. So some journeys we can go straight in on an intended destination, straight to it quite quickly. a few series of events, a few experiences, and I got to what I planned to do. It wasn't too difficult. Some young people's journeys and some of our journeys we can give things a go and maybe come across obstacles that maybe make us need to change course. And some journeys, I will sort of share mine. I have done lots and lots of different things. As a musician, as a 16, 17-year-old musician at the time, starting out, I did lots of different things like chefing. I ended up doing courier driving, shop work, and all these different things that were giving me experiences. So there's no right or wrongs between how people get there. But one of the most important things about working with young people is to kind of remember what it was like for us to be their age and to think about the fact that we didn't know what we were going to do about a situation that was causing us like a challenge or something. But to remember that everybody has a journey. And the most sort of encouraging thing that we can do for young people is to kind of try and give them reassurance and guidance about the fact that we've been there too. So sometimes the work that we do at the Trust, we try to pinpoint how best to support someone with where they are at that current point. And of course, what we're experiencing now is that many young people are experiencing that their plans are a little bit put on hold, and so we're there as an organisation to equip them with skills that they can gain in their current time. We're about sort of what can you do today that will contribute to make a difference, to the plans that you've got going ahead. So knowing that life has its ups and downs and gaining experiences can be some of the most important things that young people identify with. What could you get involved in? So we have a range of different opportunities at the Trust, which I'll cover, and those are opportunities for people to get experience-led and understanding about the skills they have through doing things and through being in a very sort of much more of a non-academic environment, but also not like I got this job and I know what I've got to do. They want me to get on with the job, and this is about sort of learning in between education and that moment where you kind of get into work. And obviously we work with a lot of young people also that have worked before and that come back to us for sort of more of a bit of a time to sort of focus on the things they want more support with. So a lot of the things that we're about is helping people to reach their goals and contribute to the future that they can create. Next slide, please, Lorna. Young people do have and face many challenges, and there can always be challenges during anyone's development. And obviously right now, what's evident through what we're doing is that, young people are calling us and sort of saying, they were planning on doing something, from the beginning of, spring, and that's not happened. And we try to sort of facilitate a range of different things which can still sort of supplement, and utilize their time in the best way possible. The young people do need face-to-face support, and they are growing up definitely in different times. And obviously now we're using technology, which makes our work sort of viable, that we can connect still with them in this present circumstances. But ultimately, I think that we're quite realistic at the Trust, is that we don't shirk away from sort of saying, you are going to find things difficult. If you're having a go at doing something and trying to get to a destination, you've got plans, you want to go on a course, or you want to try and get your first steps into work, we don't kind of like we don't sort of pretend that it's easy, because it's not that easy. So as someone that works in a youth charity, for anyone on the call as well, probably I relate best sort of saying how the most easiest way that everybody as a whole, that we can share our experiences to help and encourage and inspire young people, and where they need it best, signpost to the right places. In amongst that also, young people, we try to sort of promote their self-worth, their patience, their open-mindedness, improving that concentration and focus on sort of making their things happen by basically taking action. So yeah, that's a little bit of an insight really about what it means really for myself to relate back to my earlier days, and I really would not have sort of foreseen that I'd be working in a role like this. I personally get a great sense of reward from um, which I've seen in many programs where I've sort of said something and the young person's um, back when we were doing face-to-face delivery, one thing's for sure, has come over and said, you know what, that's just what I needed to hear, and it's a great thing. My role's a great role at the trust. It has definitely got a whole lot of fantastic sort of case stories and case studies of young people that have found what they want to do, and it's all really through people in organisations like Prince's Trust and your Black Country Impact and Talent Match, and I sponsor and really sort of really behind what everybody does to make the differences, because at the end of the day, um, as we're all fully aware, the young people are the future, which now leads me on to the next slide. So, who are the Prince's Trust? As I said at the beginning, just before I started there, it may be that you're aware of what we do. It might be that there's some things that I mentioned that you weren't aware of. It might be that you've not heard of this at all. We're always growing a new audience, and that's why this opportunity to speak to yourselves in Warsaw is a great opportunity. We're a UK youth charity, so it's not just West Midlands based. This is information. Our opportunities cover the whole of the UK, which means that there's many people like myself that can be contacted, that can end up working with a group of young people on a programme. So this is around the UK. Warsaw, I've done a lot of focused work with, but I will say before I start covering any more of the information about what we do, just to add that all of these opportunities, a lot of them that I'll talk about, are now actually accessible, that people don't need to travel. So young people could actually join one of our remote calls. And I think the future will be at the Prince's Trust that there'll be a mixture of face-to-face delivery and remote working, so virtual online delivery. So this could open up opportunities for Warsaw and other areas of the West Midlands, so that they can participate in things that maybe young people would sort of say, oh, where are they going to hold that? Okay, that might be a bit of a problem for me to get to. We work with 11 to 30-year-olds, and we're a personal social development, focusing on personal social development, employability skills, self-employment, and entrepreneurial support. We have our online presence now, and we also work in centre, and we have development awards, so young people can have support with some funding for maybe a course they've seen, or to buy some clothes for an interview, etc. We do. One of the things that what we are about is that we provide opportunities all year long, but they're always changing. So with the information that I'll give about how to find out more, that will kind of like lead you to the places where you can always see new things that we're doing. Next slide, please. And where are we based? We have centres all around the UK. The nearest for myself and yourselves is Birmingham by the Bullring. We have not been in the office there for quite some time, so that picture that I've put on the thing there, you can see it's a brilliant, fantastic, very welcoming, vibrant office. We are using it, but it's just at the moment we're not delivering our full capacity of programs from there. We have other centres, just like the Birmingham one. Birmingham was one of our sort of pilot flagship sort of new buildings, which is a great place and a great space for young people to visit. We have many people over the last couple of years visiting from Black Country areas, so we still welcome that. It will get back to being used as it should have been at this point. So as you can see there, all major cities around the UK. We've been working remotely since early lockdown, so that's meant there's been a lot more online. And some, like I said, some centres have been reopening to deliver some of their sessions. Next slide, please. What we do at the Prince's Trust is one of the main roles of what we do is we fill the gap between education and work. helping young people to spend time getting ready to pursue their steps to first stages of work or build upon the experiences that they may already have from volunteering or different things that they've done. When young people inquire to us, they sometimes already have an idea of the help that they're looking for. They may have had a friend who's completed a program with us before, or sometimes after a conversation with a young person, we can gauge quite quickly what would be the most sort of beneficial, helpful thing for them to do. We provide young people with opportunities to participate in a whole sort of, it's like a menu. So I always explain it as, when we're out looking for food, we'll look for something that sort of suits what we're looking for. The Prince's Trust has set itself up when it started out over 40 years ago. It was really for like young people looking into starting businesses. I think at that point as well, I think it was maybe post 30 as well. But over time, it's evolved to 11 to 30-year-olds to sort of address the different things that they are looking for in that situation where they're kind of like, right, what am I going to do next? And we've met a lot of our young people at job centre sessions at different organisations through seeing information that they receive to the people that they're working with. And that's kind of like how a lot of people get to find out about us, but also, because so many people have done the programs, they may say, my sister did a program at Walsall Manor Hospital. I'd like to, when's the next one? So with a view to the young people, basically we do all what we do with a view to the young people gaining more confidence, participate in group activities and access work experience and training, developing new skills that they can obviously then go into this interview situation and say, just recently I stood up for the first time and spoke in front of a group of people and did a presentation, and that was a really great achievement for me. And I now realise that I'd really like to work in people facing role, and I'd like to be involved in this sort of thing. Or it's always first-hand experiences that can lead on to the next steps. So next slide, please. Why the Prince's Trust? Hi, Lorna, if I could have the next one, please. That's brilliant. So yeah, that's great. So why the Prince's Trust? My own observation of how the programs benefit the young people is that young people tend to, like I said, going back to taking unknowns, they tend to kind of sort of think that I don't know what step to take. What should I sign up? What should I be doing? My own understanding of the work that we do is that young people in 4 weeks or 2 days or a week or 12 weeks on some of our programs growing confidence in such a massive way that I'm not saying that we're the only organisation out there that can do things like this, but courses in education can be sort of like a whole academic term. What I've seen happen is that many young people get to the end of the program and just say, really, really kind of like, I've surprised myself in how much that I'm capable of doing. We see a lot of potential that comes from people that come on our programs, the sense of achievement that people get. So discovering the areas that people are good at or not so good at is crucial for how the Prince's Trust works. Building self-awareness, self-esteem and resilience, gaining achievements and motivations for their next steps, and having encouragement to sort of spend their time, in this explore time between, what they're trying to do and what they've just been doing. And also the support of experienced program delivery staff. But definitely the Prince's Trust help young people realise that life isn't just about education and going straight into work. The work that we do helps young people to develop their character, be around other young people, be inspired, be encouraged, and better equipment for navigating them towards and through those making the decisions that will positively shape and impact their futures. And it might be also, and I've always thought this, that a lot of young people that go on programs can then sort of start to think, actually the community has a great place for many different occupations and job roles, and it has led to a lot of people sort of saying, how did you go about getting into what you do? And so that's one of the, such a great benefit of what we do. The program options, that's a picture actually on the screen there of a 12-week program that we call Team. That is coming back soon, and it is a program that's available in not far from Walsall. I'm not sure it's the exact location, but that will be coming back soon, and it's something that includes residentials, volunteering. Obviously, I'm speaking more as if I was speaking at this point last year, and I'm kind of being, this is what the full options of what we do. But in time, hopefully these things will come back. Right now, they have put their residentials on hold, but it's like group activities, and it's about finding out, as a young person, who we are outside of the education that we've been through, and having that space to kind of, get to know yourself and get to know what you feel like you're confident about, and what areas you want to improve. Next slide, please. The program options at the Prince's Trust, fitting in with those three main areas that I mentioned earlier, are personal social development, and we have a range of different opportunities that are always focusing on young people gaining more, improving their communication skills, their confidence, their self-esteem. Our programs all have different names. We have Enterprise, Get Started, Mosaic, Get Into, Team, Explore, Development Awards, online sessions. These are pretty much all, apart from one of them, 16 up to 30. Sometimes they're 18 up to 30, but they are a majority of them 16 up to 30. Our Mosaic program is for 11 to 13-year-olds, and that's a school mentoring program. I'm doing as thorough a job as I can to speak about everything, but I will kind of encourage and lead to saying that there's definitely well worth looking at the Prince's Trust website for a whole bigger sort of range of information on separate individual programs. I've worked in Get Into, Explore, Get Started, made referrals to all of them from young people that have done sessions with us. These programs, they all do different things. Their ethos is all the same, and that's basically to provide the right kind of support to young people in line with what they need. So sometimes a young person will say, I'm not really looking to work for someone. I've got my own idea, and I really want some help to get this business launched. So we signpost them to the Enterprise program. I'll go over a little bit more information actually on the next slide about those. But certificates are given upon completion of many of our programs, which is kind of personal social development, sort of acknowledgement really of gaining the skills through the participation on the program. Next slide, please. A little bit more information about our programs. We've been doing a lot of these virtual Explore sessions, which have been fantastic. It's led to us all getting up to speed, working with Microsoft Teams and facilitating and welcoming young people into our sessions and delivering information in this way. So that has been the result of these last sort of few months. They are 1.5-hour sessions every Wednesday and Thursday. Themes focus on things like CV skills, transferable skills, finding your direction. That's one of them, when we say, if you were to write down what you really sort of feel passionate about doing in a role, what would be realistic, what skills you have. And we sort of really kind of try and open the mindset about what steps to take and to focus on sort of thinking ahead, to try and get to that, finding a direction that's intended. Resilience sessions, confidence, and more. We've, in the last 3 weeks, actually been working with the National Deaf Children's Society, which has been brilliant sessions. And again, it's evolving. There's a lots of new ideas always at the Prince's Trust. So always worth it. You will have my details after this, but checking in to say, what have you got in these next few weeks and months, and I can let you know. Get Started is a program which we've run for probably about the last 10 or more years. It focuses on sort of creative skills, really. That's obviously music, film, creativity. We're currently doing a social media program, which is Sandwell specific. If any of you work with young people that live in the Sandwell area, then we've got a program that starts on the 7th of September. And I can be contacted with the email that will be shared about that for more info. But we have things like Get Started with healthcare as well. We have a big connection with the NHS in terms of delivering get into programs. So get started and get into is a way for young people to understand and gain an insight into what it'd be like to work in the hospital sector. The hospital services are such as healthcare admin roles. Walsall Manor, I really have been there many weeks. I actually spent probably about 3 months of last year actually on site between Prince's Trust delivery and facilitating the programs there. So if that's to return, it's a great program, and I recommend that one too. Get into program, hospitality, construction. They're generally 4 weeks, and they're a mixture of training and work experience, and retail, hospital services, and customer services. And then finally, the enterprise program. So even though I'm not covering all of them, this just sort of gives you a little bit of an idea about how far the menu such sort of stretches to provide opportunities for whatever the scenario is. Virtual Explorer, obviously, we're sort of the key aims there is to encourage young people to sort of work in terms of those sort of, speaking out, inputting into group sessions, and working at those key skills. Enterprise, we see a lot of young people that have got some fantastic ideas, which they can go on to a self-employment insight workshop days, and then pitch their idea, and they get a business mentor. Next slide, please. Current delivery is virtually. This year we've done so much online, but we will be gradually returning to work, hopefully at some point. As you all know, this is something which is becoming more. We're used to more, but face-to-face delivery is just key really to the work we do. Even though we can still have effective work like we're doing. The session invites that we send out to young people to access our online virtual programs at the moment, virtual opportunities. That means that they then join one of our Microsoft Teams sessions. Like I said, if anyone of yourselves was working with young people from the Walsall area and you would be interested, it's a good thing at the moment because they can actually access sessions that we're running, and young people are coming from all over the central region and West Midlands. So hopefully this will sort of boost awareness of those sessions, and you can send over people and refer to us. And then, of course, young people can take part in as many different programs and sessions with us as they like. I'll go on to the next slide, aware of time. And the steps to refer and find out more, I would be daft to just say, just with this information that I've given you, you've got everything there. The Prince's Trust have got a fantastic resource, their website, which has many different ways for people to connect with our customer service team, whether it be on the phone line, through a live chat box on the website. You can find out, we've got a postcode checker, you can see on the screen there, which will lead then to a map of the local area stating what opportunities are available. Team is the Team 12-week programme. If that's going to be coming back soon, that's well worth looking at to see where that's listed on the website. But all these questions can be posted by the customer service team, who if they don't, and then they generally put any inquiries through to our local teams. Then for young people also, and for anybody that's looking to send and forward on information about what we're doing, we have what we call the Coronavirus Support Hub page, which is accessible from the main front page of the website, and that has jobs pages on there, advice and guidance about employability skills, jobs boards, things that link and direct through to the NHS kind of work that we do. So that's kind of like how to contact us. An inquiry process, I'll just quickly make sure that we are an organisation that have adverts and bus stops, and we have our way that we like to kind of like make sure inquiries go, and that's via the customer service team. But when in terms of working with referrers, I'm more than happy to have any emails, obviously, directed to myself with any questions. We can add you onto a newsletter sort of send out so that you can be kept up to date with what we are doing in terms of the weeks and months ahead. But yeah, inquiry starts in a way that a young person will phone up and say, hi, I've seen information about this program. The customer service team will then book them onto a session or take some information first and then sort of transfer them through so that we can speak, make more of an assessment. And we do work with many people that are have been maybe supported by learning support departments in the colleges they've been to. So, you know, our organisation welcomes inquiries from all the young people that are going to benefit from the different range of things that we do. Hopefully, that's kind of covered things well enough. And good to see you back on. I don't want to carry on until you kick me off, Isabel.
Great, thank you, Tim. I'm just conscious that there's just a
exactly.
few questions, and we want to make sure we
Thank
cover
you.
them. So, I guess the nearest. So, there's a question about you know, where are sessions held for Walsall? So, the nearest office space is Birmingham. So, for me, there's a question on if young people want to engage in group work programs or some of the programs, do you support them with travel arrangements as well?
Yeah, and so there's an important thing to state at the moment. Obviously, our location-based delivery got put on hold. So when I've done sessions at like New Art Gallery, and we've done job centre sessions in Walsall, that's been our opportunity then to say, this is what we've got locally. You know, we're recruiting right now for this happening in Walsall. If young people are wanting to travel across to maybe a Wolverhampton NHS programme or anything else that we're doing, yeah, we do have travel support that we pay on programmes.
Yeah. So there's no cost to anybody making referral. It's not a cost per young person. That's fully funded through Prince's Trust. So you make a referral and then you pick up that referral wherever they live, kind of thing.
Yeah. So and some of our programs, if they are running, say like a Get Into Walsall Manor program or a team program, there might be an amount of young people that they're looking to have on a group. That could be sort of 20 in some cases, or 15 or less. So sometimes they have what they call an information and taster session. And it is a case then that anyone that actually says, yeah, I totally want to start this program, we then sort of say, you know, how will you be traveling to the program? So that's something to think about for going forward once all program delivery is location based again.
Yeah.
But currently remote working virtual programs, obviously, we can link people onto sessions from anywhere at the moment, really.
Great.
In the West Midlands.
Yeah, that's great. The only other question that I have is if practitioners have a group of young people that are a little bit lost about their career path and they want to do a group session which links into the stuff you talked about, confidence building, exploring about career. And we've got, as you know, there'll be a number of young people, especially at the moment now, because they're disengaged with education at times.
Yeah.
If there is a group, is there an opportunity to email you, and do you do group work sessions where there's a request of a practitioner or a team saying, we've got a group of 10 young people, all a bit lost. It would be really good if we could do a number of group work sessions by the Prince's Trust to explore further.
Yeah, definitely. Will my email, Isabel, be shared with everybody on the call? A request like that, send it over to me, because we're more than happy to do that. Whether it would be that we'd invite you into something that's actually set up and ready to go already, or whether we could actually, someone like myself could create that session and then invite yourselves to take part, and you send the invites to the young people that you work with. No way, that's fine. Yeah.
Right. No, that's been really good, Tim. And I guess the key messages is you're very young people centered organization who've got years of experience of working with young people around finding that right career path and building their confidence and self-esteem. And I guess the programs you're doing are ever changing. So constantly looking at what's available. Keep young people in mind, you know, especially if they're in their teenage 16 to odd, but you're also working with 11 years. And I guess if there is a question around that, the first point of contact is the website and the information there, and then also a conversation with yourself and connect up with Tim, who could make lots of information there about what young people could access. So pull on your support. Any other questions? I can't see any questions on the chat anymore. Hopefully people have found this useful and people will start connecting with Tim on anything young people could benefit from. So Thank you very much, Tim. We will be sending out the PowerPoint with all Tim's information, contact details. So please contact Tim if you want to talk about a particular young person or group of young people who could benefit from the Prince's Trust support. So thank you, Tim, for joining us, and thanks for everybody who's been on the team. And tomorrow there's a session on the safeguarding board. And on Friday, there is also a session, and I forgot the theme for Friday. Bernarda's coming in to talk about their programs of support for young people in Walsall. So if you want to come and join us, then feel free to do so. Thank you, Tim, and hope to speak to you very soon. Have all a great day.
Yeah, have a great day, everybody. Thank you.
All right, bye.
Bye. Bye. Bye.